Getting out of the comfort zone. Many of us are pretty comfortable in our life. We've got a reasonably good income, there's food in the fridge, we've got a nice warm bed to sleep in, and everything seems to be floating along just fine. And a person in that position could very easily think, why would I want to do anything to change this? Many of us have established a comfort zone in our lives. We're just coasting along, taking a line of least resistance, just getting by. Now, this is a very common and understandable attitude. We've all worked very hard to get to where we are, and it may seem a very good place to be. But the problem with that is that once we stop reaching, stretching, seeking, risking, we actually stop growing. The comfort zone frame of mind is settling for what we are today. Now, that may be fine today, but without continued growth, we are now all we are ever going to be. Now, for me, that would be a fairly disturbing thought. So if you're in a comfort zone, beware. The danger of the comfort zone is that it does not hurt, and it might even feel good. Many take that to mean that it's a good place to be, but it's not. A comfort zone may be what is holding you back from real growth, real accomplishment, and your potentially exciting and rewarding future. Now, I choose to believe everyone wants something. Way down deep inside of you is a dream. And every now and then, that dream floats to the surface of your conscious mind. And when it does, you quickly push it out and you say, I can't do that. Now, the truth is you can. You just don't know how. So if you can get that straight in your mind, you bust it out. You cannot escape from prison if you don't know you're in one. Now, I think we're all in one to some degree, but that dream that comes to your mind, I would suggest that you look at it real carefully. Now, there's a very famous speech from a minister in Minneapolis, and there were a couple of lines that were absolutely incredible. He said, the saddest thing when officiating funeral is not the death of the body, but the death of all the dreams. It was the house that you were going to build and never built. Maybe the car you wanted to get and never got. That trip you were going to take and never took. The business you were going to start but never did. Well, the saddest thing is not the death of the body, but the death of all the dreams. We've got to do what's inside of us. Let's not go to the grave with the music still inside. Now, if you do not direct all of this information that you're going to hear towards a specific end, this information will probably be rendered useless, because success is the progressive realization towards a worthy goal or ideal. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, your circumstances may be uncongenial right now, but they shall not long remain so if you perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. What I would suggest you do is just jot down anywhere on a blank space that one thing that you want. Don't wait. Start now and say to yourself, I'm going after it. I'm going to get it. Do the thing, and you'll get the energy to do the thing. Now, here are a few basic points that we're going to use throughout this program, and two simple words that we can implement. The first word is order. The second word is movement. Now, when you have order and movement working in your life, what begins to happen is there's a pattern of growth that begins to develop, similar to the snowball effect, the physics of productivity. So objects in motion tend to stay in motion. So the key thing is just get started, get the ball rolling. So the order is to make a decision that no matter where I am, no matter how well I'm doing, I can do better. And I'm going to set an objective to bring about that order and then use the movement, which is known as the system, to get us there. And this system will help you get there. Now, the first step is to have a very clear understanding of where your journey begins. A very clear understanding of where the journey begins. So you must know these four basic concepts. Well, number one, you must know what you want. Number two, why do you want it? Why do you want it? Number three, by when do you want it? And four, an idea on how you're going to get it. Now, secondly, to help you stay on course, you must have a clear understanding of your destination. One of the greatest definitions of success that I've ever heard is success is not a destination, never has been, but it is something we call a journey. It's always been what is called a journey. It's not something you get, it's something you are becoming. It never ends. It's infinite in terms of growth. Now, one of the most important words in your life is excellence. I've read hundreds of books in search of excellence, the pursuit of excellence, but what does that word really mean? Well, I've got to tell you what the word really means. It means a commitment to completion. You never, ever want to forget that. Excellence is a commitment to completion. That means completing the things around home. It means completing the things at your work. It means completing the commitments in your life. It's a commitment to completion. Many of the times we strive for perfection, but perfection is actually an illusion. We want to strive for progress over perfection. Perfection actually hinders our growth. So strive for progress. The idea of something being perfect is an illusion. The idea of perfection can really hold us back from achievements. If you're always waiting to reach perfection, you're never going to be happy. You should strive for excellence, not perfection. Now, do you know how many people that are trying to set a goal, they don't know where they're at, and consequently, they don't know how to get there? Unbelievable as this may seem, this is the classical error that millions of people make philosophically with their lives. They're not completely honest with themselves when it comes to recognizing where they presently are. They are in denial of where they presently are. So every exercise and suggestion I'm giving you will clearly indicate these points, and this is what this video is about. One is where your journey begins, where you'd like to go, and the mental adjustments that must be made. Now, as we move throughout the program, I want you to form the attitude that this is and has been especially prepared for you. This is for you. This is not for me, not for anyone. This is for you. Now, you've got to make a commitment to yourself that you're going to follow every instruction necessary to alter, and you're going to hear this word often, it's to alter your own conditioning, your old conditioning. And I want you to think, what is old conditioning? Do you know any time that you get these very pain remembrances, these nagging little things that try to grab us when we're trying to do something or tell us that we can't do it, why we can't do it? All these things that are just kind of like grabbing at us, like these doubts and worries, that's your old conditioning. Now, anytime you get feedback telling you why you can't do something, if you could only remember, it is not a reflection of your potential or you as a person, but it is a reflection of your conditioning. I'd give anything for you to just understand that. Now, I will say this again for you to really understand. When you get that old feeling that you can't do something, you can only remember it's a reflection of your conditioning and not a reflection of your potential. You want to know what the highest function of which a human being is capable of? It's thinking. Thinking is the highest function of which a human being is capable. All of the great leaders, all down through history, have been in complete and unanimous agreement that you and I become what we think about. Now, play with that for a moment. It's a subject that's not taught in school. It's the highest function of which we're capable. And every great leader that has ever lived all told us that you and I become what we think about most of the time. So thinking is a skill which can be learned just as we learn skills such as typing, playing the piano, and there are a few public schools that offer courses devoted to teaching thinking, but rather we're expected to learn and teach thinking as a byproduct of learning mathematics, reading, science, history, and so on. We do in fact learn a lot by thinking in this way. The trouble is we learn our thinking in bits and pieces, and we never put it together as an overall picture. So if you were asked to describe what is required in order to think effectively, most people would be at a loss to even give a complete answer, which leaves us unable to assess our own thinking skills or even teach the skill of thinking to others. Now, consider this for a moment. When you think in pictures. Check it out. I want to suggest to you that you think of the home that you live in. And as you do, realize that an image of your home comes onto the screen of your mind. It's almost as if there's a screen running right through the center of our head. And the second we think of our home, the picture of the home comes onto the screen of the mind. Now, I want to suggest that you think of your car. The second you think of your car, the picture of the home is gone and the picture of the car is there. Now, think of your kitchen, your backyard. Think of where you work or go to school, and bang, 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 just like that, the picture is changing. We literally think in pictures. Now, I'm going to suggest that you think of your mind. Now, when most people think of their mind, they get an image of the brain. Yet, you know, the brain is not the mind. Mind is an activity, and the body is the manifestation of that activity. And we're going to find as we go along that the body is really nothing but an instrument of the mind. Now, your brain is composed of hundreds of thousands of cells. Into these cells, we impregnate pictures or images. And as we think, we activate that particular group of brain cells. And that's the picture that flashes onto the screen of the mind. Now, when you think of yourself, what kind of picture do you get? Do you know the vast majority of people see themselves through a negative lens? Now, what we want to do is take and build cells of recognition in your brain for prosperity. So when you think of yourself, that's what you'll see: a prosperous, peaceful, joyful, abundant human being. Now, this program is written in the sincere hope that it would lead you. And that's all I could do, is lead you. A person will not believe something until they discover it for themselves. So all I want to do is lead you to this new awareness. I want to lead you to the many discoveries that lie within you. And we're going to do that through the repetition of prosperous ideas. Now, I think you know, and I know, that if we are going to improve, we have to have a very open mind. And I once heard that an open mind was being prepared to throw away some of our most cherished beliefs. You see, a thought is an idea that you have in your mind, and an idea is a thought that you can take action on. So the test of an educated person is, can I entertain a new idea? When a better idea comes along, you'll find that the vast majority of people seem to back into their old experience with them when they're confronted with the new idea, and they ask, does it fit? And if it doesn't, they say it's wrong. Now, what I want you to do is ask yourself, would this new idea improve the quality of my life, or would it get me going in the other direction? So I want you to understand, can you entertain a new idea? Because all of the ideas that I'm going to share with you, they're going to be positive, they're going to be creative, they're going to be constructive. And if you're going to look for something wrong with this video or this program, I'm sure you're going to find it. But if you look at what could go right about this program, then I'm sure you're going to find it. What we're going to do is tell you one thing 10,000 times, different ways, so that we're going to cause pictures to fly on the screen of your mind until you get a very clear picture of greatness and prosperity locked up within you, because that's what they are, regardless of whether you understand. Your attention is directed at the importance of your mind, the type of thoughts and ideas which occupy your consciousness. They are of paramount importance in developing prosperity. So your mind is either in an orderly state or a confused state. And as I mentioned before, order and movement are what is necessary for your growth. And we always start with the order, because order must prevail in the mind. Everything starts with our mind. And if we're going to have order in our mind, we must have an image of our mind, which most people don't have. Without an image, we have confusion. Now, an average person has about 60,000 thoughts per day. 95% of those thoughts are the same repetitive thoughts as the day before. And 80% of those thoughts are negative. So the more that you review this and listen to this, what we are doing is making the unfamiliar familiar and the familiar unfamiliar. So we've come to the end of the video. I have an action step for you, a little piece of homework. I want you to write yourself a 90-day letter. So if your future self were to talk to your current self 90 days from now, what is the outcome you have achieved? That is going to give you an idea of what it is that you really, really want, as if you can go into the future and have an idea of what you'd like to create right now for yourself. This will bring you so much clarity. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you're definitely going to want to check out this video next. Thanks for watching.